Hello everybody, Bruce McGonagall here. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. So there is a bipolar opposite to Trump Derangement Syndrome. Let me explain. There are people like Liz Churchill online, huge account, that has promoted for years that Anthony Fauci needs to be held accountable for lying to everybody during COVID-19. I couldn't agree more. I believe he is criminally responsible and should be for everything that he did. From funding gain of function to lying about it and covering it up and then promoting vaccines that were actually mRNA shots that hurt a lot of people and likely killed a lot more people that got blamed on COVID-19. The reality is that Donald Trump is the one who created Operation Warp Speed to rush those mRNA shots to public. As I posted a video before about Donald Trump where he's openly said it himself, he called those shots the gold standard in vaccines. He told us that they were all safe and effective and that they were miracles. He promoted this even right before he left office in 2020. I will be posting a video clip link to that in the comments section. Now, a lot of people are saying, hey, he was lied to by people like Fauci. Okay, fair enough. That's fine. If he was lied to, then there needs to be accountability for people lying to the President of the United States during a biowarfare attack that originated in China and was funded by the U.S. government. Folks, Donald Trump and the Republicans were benefiting from Pfizer in 2024 in the lead up to the election. Pfizer itself created a PAC to fund donations to political candidates. Republicans got anywhere from 63 to 65% of those donations. The Democrats got anywhere from 35 to 37% of those donations. So clearly it was heavily skewed towards the Republican Party that Pfizer was sucking up to. Now, after Donald Trump got elected, he invited the CEO of Pfizer, Albert Bourla, and executives from Pfizer to Mar-A-Lago. Guess what they did? They funded Donald Trump's inauguration, giving him huge sums of money, folks, for his inauguration. So at that event, Donald Trump actually praised Albert Bourla, who lied to everybody about the effectiveness of the shots, and then promoted more shots, mandates, and lockdowns if it meant more money for Pfizer.
We also have the head of Pfizer here, so I want to thank him. One of the great people, one of the great businessmen. Thank you, Albert. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So if Donald Trump had been lied to, you would think by 2025 he would know that. And he would be addressing it and openly telling his supporters that he is seeking justice for what happened. Accountability from Pfizer, accountability from all the experts that lied, accountability from Fauci, and criminal punishment for all of these people. That's not what he's done. Instead, he praised the CEO, accepts huge sums of money from them for his own personal glorification. And we have people screaming at me, whether it's on Facebook or whether it's on X, that somehow it's a derangement syndrome to point all of this out. But it is all facts, folks. I don't need to lie about any of it. Just like with the Epstein case, Donald Trump and his team basically tried to promote the idea that we should all just move along from a multi-billionaire pedo ring for some of the richest, most entitled people on the planet. Now Donald Trump is trying to move on from mRNA shots being bad to Donald Trump save the world from basically COVID Armageddon, right? That's what he's been promoting this entire time. And when I tried to warn people that Donald Trump was working to get Mark Carney elected so Mark Carney would cover up the COVID-19 scam, I got screamed at. But that's exactly what's happened. The Liberals are not investigating COVID-19 in Canada. It's always been the Conservative Party that was against the mandates, that was against the vaccine passports, that was against the lockdowns. The Conservatives were even showing up to the House of Commons when Liberals and the NDP would not, because the Conservatives were saying, hey, if this system worked for over 150 years, people can still show up even during COVID-19. We can do safe distancing, everything else like that, but the people's business need to move forward and we need accountability. Of course, our PPC party, the People's Party of Canada, that couldn't win one single seat, they assured all of us that that was just all smoke and mirrors, and only they were the party that was going to stand up to COVID-19. Of course, we all know how that worked out. We found out one of their candidates was raking in money to help create ArriveCan. And we didn't find out about any of that until 2024. And then the PPC magically tried to walk away from this candidate, even though he had raked in approximately $200 million between his little companies that he had set up. One was a two-person company set up, very much in a similar fashion to we saw with Randy Bossino. So there has been a massive cover-up around the world of the COVID-19 scam and the mRNA shots, and Donald Trump is all in on that. And that is why he is working with the World Economic Forum to put all of that in the rearview mirror. Trump wants to be remembered as a savior, as a hero, as the guy who's built the golden age in America. And there are people within the MAGA movement who are more than happy to pretend that all of that is true and then scream at anybody pointing out the facts like I am. Now, I'm sure I'm going to get more people doing that again when I post this video, but guess what, folks? I live in reality. And if you think that all of these people that think men get pregnant and that men or women are in a cult, a political cult, and they all are basically nuts, there's nothing different with people who refuse to admit that Donald Trump worked with Pfizer. He actually promoted Pfizer, gave them billions of dollars to create these shots, and then called them miracles, the gold standard, everything else like that. And Trump did not walk any of that back, even heading into the election. I believe it was 6 months before the election. He was still praising his response to COVID-19 and how it had saved the world. So, folks, if you're willing to just sit back and pretend that all of that is above board, you're probably willing to sit back and pretend that Epstein killed himself in a jail cell and all of that should just go away as well. I'm not that guy. I want answers. I want the truth. So many lives were destroyed, especially here in Canada, because of those shots and ArriveCan and the World Economic Forum agenda. We deserve accountability. I can agree with a huge chunk of what MAGA is about, and still say I'm going to hold them accountable for things that they did that were wrong. And we all should be that way. Because if you really truly want to make America great again, you have to turn around and live in reality. You cannot just become part of a right-wing political cult that says, oh, if my guy's lying, we have to cheer that on because that's my guy. You're no more honest than those on the left, and you're literally living the lie. So Donald Trump can do some really great things. I support getting men out of women's sports. I support protecting girls. I support ending SOGI. I support his war on fentanyl and overdose crisis. I support a hell of a lot of what he's doing, trying to make sure that Iran doesn't end up with nuclear bomb. I support all of that. But I will not pretend that Donald Trump has clean hands and he can just wash himself away from all of the stuff that happened during COVID-19 that he personally went out of his way to ensure would happen. He made sure that those mRNA shots were being promoted around the world. And I believe that's why Pfizer turned around and donated so heavily to the Republicans, because they knew Donald Trump would play ball with them. And when he won, they came over to his own personal residence and gave him a bunch of money so that he could celebrate himself with North America and the world during his inauguration. Remember, folks, Donald Trump said, oh, I'm going to donate my salary because, hey, I don't want to make money off of this. Nonsense. Nonsense. Donald Trump's making money off of it. His family's making money off of it. All of them are. So again, that's just political spin. If Pfizer is giving you millions of dollars to promote yourself, you're getting paid by Pfizer. That's the truth. And I hope, beyond hope, that people will start to realize this and demand accountability. Because Anthony Fauci could not have done what Anthony Fauci did without Donald Trump allowing him to do it. Take care, everybody. Have a great one.